There was a boy in school who never raised his hand. He never answered questions in class. He never tried to impress anyone. The other kids called him boring. His teachers called him shy. But 20 years later, he was running a company with 300 employees. And most of the loud kids, nobody remembered their names. This is a story about the power of doing more and saying less. So welcome back to Daily Motivation Hub, where we tell real stories in clear, simple English. I'm your host, and today's episode is a little different. Today, we're not just giving you tips. We are telling you a story. A story about a quiet boy named Aryan. A boy who was underestimated his whole life. Who never competed with words. Only with results. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why being quiet is not a weakness. And why the people who talk the most are often doing the least. Let's get into Aryan's story. Part 1: The classroom nobody understood. Aryan grew up in a small town in India. He was the middle child. 3 brothers, a tiny house, not much money. In school, he was invisible. Not because he wasn't smart. He was very smart. But because he never fought for attention. There was a boy in his class called Rohan. Rohan was everything Aryan wasn't. Loud, confident, always the first one to raise his hand. Always the center of attention. Teachers loved Rohan. Parents praised Rohan. He won the school debate competition 2 years in a row. But here's what nobody noticed. While Rohan was preparing his speeches, Aryan was reading, building, creating. Aryan spent every evening teaching himself to code on an old computer. Not because someone told him to. Not to impress anyone. Just because he was curious. By the time they finished school, Rohan had a trophy cabinet full of debate medals. Aryan had built 3 small software programs from scratch. One of them was a simple tool to help local farmers track crop prices on their phones. Farmers in his village actually used it. Nobody gave him an award for that. No one clapped. But the work was real. And the impact was real. The world doesn't always clap for the builders. But it always needs them. Part 2: The city that tests you. Aryan moved to Mumbai at 22. He had a small bag, a little savings, and one goal. Get a job in tech. Mumbai is not gentle with quiet people. It's loud. It's fast. It's competitive. Everyone is selling themselves. Everyone is performing. Aryan went to interview after interview. And he kept losing to people who could talk better than him. People who were smooth. People who were charming. People who said all the right things in the room. One interviewer actually told him, "You need to be more dynamic." Dynamic. That word stayed with him. He went home that night and thought about it. And then he made a decision. He decided not to change. Not because he was stubborn, but because he understood something important. He couldn't win at being loud. That wasn't his game. His game was to build something so good that the talking wouldn't matter. So while other candidates were polishing their interview answers, Aryan spent 3 months building a project. A real product. A working app. Something he could show, not just describe. He walked into his next interview and put a laptop on the table. "I built this," he said. "You can try it right now." The interviewer didn't say a word for 2 minutes. He was too busy using the app. Aryan got the job. When your work speaks, you don't have to shout. Part 3: The leader nobody expected. 10 years passed. Aryan was now a senior engineer at a growing startup. And remember Rohan, the loud, confident boy from school. He was also in Mumbai, also in tech, also doing well. They ended up at the same company, different teams, and when a leadership position opened up, both of them applied. Everyone expected Rohan to get it. He was the better speaker, the more visible one. He knew everyone's name. He worked every room. But the CEO made a different choice. She chose Aryan. When people asked why, she said something that nobody forgot. She said, Rohan talks about what he's going to do. Aryan has already done it. That was it. That was the whole reason. Aryan went on to build a team of 300 people. He wasn't the loudest leader in the building. He still didn't talk much in meetings. But when he did speak, people listened, because they knew every word was backed by action. Every idea came from experience. Every promise had already been kept. His team didn't follow him because he inspired them with speeches. They followed him because he showed up every day and did the work. Respect isn't earned by the loudest voice. It's earned by the most consistent actions. Your action for today. Here's your one action for today. And it's simple. Think about something you've been talking about doing. Something you've told people about, posted about, planned about, but haven't actually started yet. Today, not tomorrow, not this weekend. Today, do one small piece of that thing. Not the whole thing. Just one step, 1 hour, 1 page, 1 call. Because here's what Aryan understood that most people don't. Every hour you spend talking about your dream is an hour you didn't spend building it. The world is full of people with great ideas and empty hands. Don't be one of them. Be the quiet builder. The one who shows up. The one who delivers. Closing. Aryan's story teaches us 3 things. Being quiet is not a weakness. It's a strategy. Your work will always say more than your words ever can. And the most respected people in any room are not the loudest. They're the most consistent. If this story moved you, share it with one quiet person in your life who needs to hear it. You know someone like Aryan. Send it to them today. And come back tomorrow. Because next episode, we're talking about how to handle failure like the most successful people in the world do. That story, it might just change how you see every setback you've ever had. I'll see you there.